Da-na-na-na. I love that jingle. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another KSR Happy Hour presented by our friends at Country Boy Brewing. My name is Tyler Thompson. Today I'm joined by Drew Franklin. Oh, I finally pointed in the right direction on this thing. Well, there we go. Nick Roush and Jack Pilgrim. They are joining us today to preview Purdue, talk Tennessee, and mostly tell old stories about KSR because the website turned 20 yesterday, although the math is not quite mathing on that, but that's okay. Facts are optional here at KSR. So we thought we'd spend a good chunk of today's show just kind of talking about the old days. I've been looking up old pictures and laughing at some stuff. But what's up, everybody? How's your Thursday going? Drew, you had quite a night. A quick trip to Nashville and back.
Shout out Sierra Farrell.
Yeah,
touched
I
her.
printed that show.
I did touch her. I told her I'm her biggest fan, which is not true, but she was right there, so I had to say it. And then I fanboyed a little bit. Great show, though. It's a case of my wife's been trying to see Mumford since I've known her. They're only ever in like Scotland and England and Wales. And then last week she was like, hey, they're in Nashville. I'm like, yeah, I can't do Wednesday. Just can't do Wednesday.
Wednesday on Broadway.
And then Wednesday popped up and we said, let's get in the car. So we just went. We just did it. Just went for it.
I admire that spontaneity. I can't think of the last time I did something that spontaneous. Like, it's not just, hey, I want to go to a concert. It's, hey, I'm going to get in the car, drive 3 hours to Nashville. And you all came like right back.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I didn't know you could have construction at midnight, but we had a long wait, which added to the long drive home, but definitely worth it. Still got the energy to pull that off. I had my doubts going into it, but we had a blast.
Shout out to Mumford and Sons for still making shows. I didn't know they were still doing that.
Great show. Great show. He does the thing where he like runs in the crowd. He ran right by us. Tyler, do you know where the Predators DJ is? And he like shoots the stuff. Yeah. He climbed up on top of that. It was a very high energy show, not just a lot of banjo, and they were everywhere. Great times.
That's awesome.
But I missed some of these. I didn't have any of these down there.
No, we can't get these in Nashville. So what have you got? Which one is that? Is that
Oktoberfest. It's the wrong color. It's the wrong color this week that I'm just now realizing, but it's the only ones I had from the our favorite beer. So shout out Country Boy Oktoberfest.
Halfway home. What are you drinking, Jack?
I'm out. So I'm also drinking the wrong color. Or we're just going to crush Tennessee.
There you go.
I'm just getting prepared for Sunkist is SEC tournament. So ignore that if you're the SEC. But outside of that, it's a delicious drink.
Nice.
I'm messed up because I've got a date night and I didn't grab a beer before I came up here. And now
a pre-gaming date night.
I know I messed up. I dropped the ball. I was too worried about if my pants still fit or not. So pants fit, so that's good, but didn't grab a beer. What was I thinking?
So what does a father of 3 date night look like? What's on the agenda?
See, in this, I was trying to get bonus points for spontaneity. Because it just, we did back-to-back road trips in the SEC, and then during the bye week, visited the in-laws, and then it's a late night, Saturday night, so I'm like, you know what, let's try to catch a just date night. Well, I'll surprise my wife, had the kids stay over at my parents' on a Thursday night. I'll tell her when she gets home on Thursday. Well, my dad, hey, don't let Brooke know that I'm going to surprise her with the date night. He still is like, well, the kids are going to stay over Thursday. She's like, oh, are they? Come on. Gosh. And then he tries to like hype the kids up on him. I'm like, Dad, you can't. They will tell. They're children. They can't keep secrets. What are you doing? So, the cat was out of the bag. She hates surprises anyway. So, it all worked out. But we're just doing a little Nulu Korean barbecue. I've never done the Korean barbecue, but I was relieved when they said you don't have to cook it at the table if you don't want to, because I'm terrified of messing up.
It over the rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you can.
Fun.
Yeah, but I can mess it up. Like, right?
I mean, I don't really, unless you just burned it. I don't know. Like, what are you scared is going to happen?
I don't know. It's why I don't buy a tomahawk steak, because I'm not going to cook it as well as the chef who does this every day. Like, that's why I go to the restaurant, because I can't do it as well as they can. Similar to wings at KS Bar. I'm going to enjoy my wings at KS Bar because I know whatever I try to do, it's just not going to be as good. So I'm going to leave it up to the experts. I think that's what we're going to do tonight too. Fingers crossed.
Fair enough. Oh, that sounds. Speaking of KSR, I will be there either tomorrow or Saturday. I'm coming up for the Purdue game, so I'm really excited. I was up there for the grand reopening, but I didn't get a chance to try all the new menu items, and I keep hearing the burger is amazing. So I'm going to have to try that out at some point this weekend with the Country Boy Brew. But speaking of the Purdue game, Mark Pope talked about it today with the media. Jack, you were there. Aside from his numerology comments, which we're going to get to, and the Jaylen Lowe update, what was your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I'd just say we actually get something out of this. It's not directional U, mid-major, Southwest. Like we get to play the number one team in the country in late October. Like this never gets to happen. So he said it's the best thing that the NCAA has ever done. That it's just the greatest gift that college basketball has gotten, the opportunity to host the number one team in the country, the best point guard in college basketball, and Braden Smith. So I think there's just a lot of excitement about yes, we're going to try to win. We're not just doing this for participation, a participation trophy. We are, going to be competitive. We got the competitive juice is flowing. They said if it were a game of checkers, these guys would try to win. So this is definitely no exception. They're going to try to go win this thing. But I think they're just very grateful, in the wise words of Mark Stoops, to be able to do this and host the number one team in the country. Not just hey, here's the crowd and the lights and playing with officials and media timeouts. We actually get to play real competition. I think there's a lot of excitement with that.
Well, and it sounds like fans are excited. You all talked about this a little bit on the radio show, Drew, but tickets are crazy. Like it's officially sold out. But if you look at the resale, it's nuts. Like I think the cheapest to get in the building for like a nosebleed seat was like at least $200 or something, at least.
Yeah, even though it doesn't matter to the resume, it's going to be a big game atmosphere. You can't tell Kentucky fans that this is an exhibition when the number one team in the preseason is there. I fully expect it to feel like a regular season game, even though it's not going to impact any seeding or anything on down the road. And if Kentucky were to win without Jaylen Lowe, we all know Kentucky fans will want that to be included in the seeding on down the road. Or if we lose, we'll pretend it doesn't happen. But I just think the experience in there is going to be just like it would be if it were a December game, because Kentucky fans, we can't help ourselves. We're going to be going full speed in there.
The good news, our friends at Game Time it's row Y in the upper deck, but it is mid-court for $68.
Hey,
so
that's not bad. You're in the building.
Yeah, and
I think that's totally worth it.
I think On3 is the promo code. Yeah, On3 is the promo code. I always get it mixed up between On3 and KSR. On3 is the promo code to get $20 off your first purchase. So, that's not too. I also think there's something about the newness of it all. I came from an era where my one time I got to watch Kentucky at Rupp was when they would play Athletes in Action. Which, what were they doing in action? I'm not quite sure.
Losing in action.
Yeah, so the fact that we get to see them play a real team, and it's also one of the other things. Like, just I can't do all the other stuff, right? I can get hyped up for a summer trip. I can do this blue, white, big blue madness. Like it's noise. It means absolutely nothing to me. This is a real basketball game, and also it's against a really, really good team. And the other part you mentioned, Drew, where we can hype ourselves up or pretend it didn't happen. That's great. I mean, this is a total house money game. Nothing matters, right? And then the other part too, if they lose, you say, well, they didn't have Jaylen Lowe. This is just a way to work out the kinks. I mean, it is house money a game as there's ever existed in the history of house money.
Well, that's
two things.
Athletes
in Action was my first game, Nick. I just want to let you know. My grandfather took me. I remember driving past the castle thinking, what in the hell is that? I get to Rupp Arena. It's not Florida. It's not Duke. It's not North Carolina, Louisville, or Tennessee. It's Athletes in Action. But it was still the best time ever. So shout out to Athletes in Action.
I remember going to an exhibition between the 96 and 98 teams, but it wasn't like the stars of those teams. It was like the B list, like the reserves. But it was really fun. Like back in the Tubby era, it felt like we had a lot of those summer exhibitions for charity or whatever. They were still fun.
Was Hashimu Evans probably was in there?
He means warrior, yeah.
Jared Prickett, maybe. Was Prickett on the 96 team? Yeah. Jared Prickett's also everywhere, which I learned when somebody recently reshared the KSR Uncensored podcast from.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's fun hearing some anecdotes about good old Jared Prickett.
I think Mark Pope was at one of those exhibition games because when I interviewed Leanne last year, she talked about the first time she had encountered Kentucky fans was when he came back in town for one of those summer exhibitions. And she had no idea, how crazy Kentucky fans were. And she was talking about how fans swarmed Mark Pope for autographs afterward. And her, so she used to work as a, personal assistant to David Letterman, and her old Letterman skills kicked in, and she started making way and being the bodyguard and telling someone to run down and get the SUV so they could get out of there. But imagine that being your first encounter with Kentucky fans.
And he's not even an active player either.
Right.
He's an old washed one.
Hope got to be a part of the old Italy trip. They went and played their exhibitions in Italy because one of his first games in Rupp Arena afterwards, when everybody comes down for radio, there was a woman standing in the corner. She listens to the show, so I recognized her and we were talking, and she's like, Pope found out that I was on that Italy trip, and he told me to wait so we can link up, and he wants to see my pictures that I brought. And I'm like, only Mark Pope would know that this fan at one of his first games was in Italy in 95 and wants her to stay back with her Polaroids. That was one of my first eye-opening Mark Pope experiences with the fans last year, just how much he's really into it.
I want to go to Italy. Can we have another exhibition game in Italy? So Kentucky's next summer tour is not next summer; it's the summer after, right? If they keep going,
I think it's next. I think it's this coming summer.
Oh boy,
it's every 4 years. I think they're taking that rule away, so it doesn't even have to be that. But 2022 was the football school, football basketball school debacle. So we're due.
R.I.P. KSR travel budget.
Any sponsors, Country Boy. Hey, we would love for your help. I do want to add though you touched on the blue and white game thing, Nick, and that was another thing that Pope talked about. He said he was terrified. He said that after Jaylen Lowe went down, he said, "I'm calling it. I am just as scared as everybody else in the crowd. So the event is over. Show is over." There was a plan initially for the whole Elam ending thing. You're going to play the first little segment, the quarter, do the Elam ending, and I think Pope planned on having kind of you guys want more encore? All right. Throw another 10 minutes on the clock. And then when Jaylen went down, he said, all right, now go home. We're all done. Pack it up. So Pope did acknowledge that that wasn't his finest moment, sending the crowd home disappointed.
I kind of think we all felt that way, though. It was like, okay, this is not fun anymore. Let's just get this over with and get out of there. Thankfully, it sounds like Jaylen Lowe is going to be okay. Reading between the lines of Pope's update today, he said that Jaylen Lowe wasn't going to return to live action for another week. Obviously, he will miss the Purdue game, which at least that speculation is gone. It kind of sounded to me like he's going to sit out the Georgetown exhibition, maybe be ready for the season opener. But in all, best case scenario, he will be ready to go by Louisville. Is that how you read it, Jack?
It's all that matters. We don't care. Yeah. Yes, it sucks because Braden Smith is the draw. We kind of went into this going, hey, we like our point guard too. It's going to be the head-to-head battle between two potential All-American level talents with Braden and Jaylen. Jaylen goes down. Now we go, well, okay, now who's going to step up and kind of match that energy that Braden's going to give? But it is a great opportunity for Denzel to step in and see what you got. Hey, Todd Golden talked a big game about how expensive he was to leave and for Kentucky to take him on. Let's see, if he's worth every cent on, the biggest, brightest stage against the best point guard in college basketball. So it's a big opportunity for the other guys. But yes, it is very unfortunate that we don't get to see the name brand battle between Jaylen and Braden.
And the BBN United Tip-Off Classic presented by Kentucky Tourism. It didn't change the odds. I looked up the odds. Kentucky's still the heavy favorite. But, not having a point guard for the BBN United Tip-Off Classic presented by Kentucky Tourism is not something you want to see to start the season.
Well, in a way, does not having Jaylen Lowe, it's an exhibition. There's not a ton of pressure on this. Obviously, it doesn't count. But does not having Lowe kind of make it even more, let's just go have fun. Let's see what happens. Because if you had Lowe and Kentucky had lost by 10 or 15, it might have been whoa. But now it's like you said, Nick, it's house money, right?
Yeah. My other part, too, is I'm just an eternal optimist. And even though I shouldn't be based on injury history. I should be more like our pal Stephen Peak. But, you know, how many times were they flying the plane while building it at the same time last year? I'd rather them just do it now, you know? Hey, yes, it's better to have the team getting into rhythm and figuring out. But, like, I said it on the board the other day because, you know, I'm sure we're going to talk starting lineups and all that. I just don't really care. It's more about combinations for me. The hard part is quantifying which combination is good because we don't get that data that's not in the stat broadcast. Like this 5 played this many minutes together, this 5 played this many minutes together. But now they have to figure out what happens if Lowe gets in foul trouble. Who's our point guard that's going to step up? Who can we trust with the ball in their hands? Oh, they're going to know right away. This isn't Travis Perry going out there and balling on who's the first game against? It's not High Point. It's
Nichols.
Yeah. Dang it. But like, it's not just you're letting one guy cook against another one. No, we're going to see how Jasper Johnson handles the ball against real pressure. Hopefully, it looks better than Reed Shepherd against real pressure at the end of that Rockets game. That was a little rough the other night, but that I think is a good thing. Is like, okay, we're going to figure it out sooner rather than later, because this was ultimately the worst case scenario, right? Point guard gets hurt, you don't have a true backup. You have a lot of 1Bs who you trust, Aberdeen, you trust Otega, you trust. You would think you would trust Colin Chandler to an extent. They're not necessarily primary ball handlers. Or now, go figure it out against Braden Smith in a game that doesn't matter. That's like ideal in my mind.
So obviously Braden Smith is the name everybody knows, but what are some other matchups that we can look forward to?
Remember when he was coming to Kentucky?
Oh, I remember that.
He wanted it, baby. He wanted it.
We were in Indianapolis, and Kentucky, Tennessee played, and I remember standing next to Jack and Steven. We were getting ready to walk out to try and catch the media shuttle, and that Purdue-Houston game was happening at the time. And didn't he hit – like he had some crazy shot, and then Houston won that game. But you were like, Braden Smith's coming. Kentucky's next point guard.
There was a dollar figure attached to his name potentially to Kentucky. And again, that was all on Braden's side. And if you guys are on the Purdue side listening to this, cover your ears because your superstar point guard wanted to be Kentucky's superstar point guard. I'm sorry, but that was just the reality. And, Kentucky didn't want to play ball with that until he was officially in the portal. And then it kind of became Purdue's offering me, an arm and a leg to come back. So we'll run it back in Purdue. But once upon a time, in another timeline, there was a chance. But yeah, Braden is the main draw. But what's funny is that's not even the leading scorer from Purdue last year. Trey Kaufman-Renn is back, and he's a kind of a versatile 4 that had to kind of play bigger than he was because they had some front court injury issues last year. So he's back playing his more traditional role at the 4. That's going to be the head-to-head matchup. Mo Diabate and Trey Kaufman-Renn. That's going to be an absolute blast, must-see TV. In fact, Purdue played Alabama last year, and Mo was limited to like 10 minutes. Didn't get to kind of show himself in the time he did have. He played really well. So I think that's going to be an individual matchup that Mo is very, very excited for. But, Fletcher Lawyer, a guy back for his 4th season. He's been there for all 3 years.
Still playing?
Yes. And still
my God.
Just as good as he was the day that he stepped on campus.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the operative word. Just as good. Not better. Like just very average white guy.
Super reliable.
Good, yes. Reliable.
Super
white
reliable.
Boys. Who's going to match up with Zach Edey? How's that going to work? He's still got to be around, right?
They got
another one. Daniel Jacobson. He's another one. He's the 7'4" white guy.
I want to know where the factory is that produces all of these white guys that aren't American that just all play for Matt Painter. It's incredible. Going back to the dude that we thought was going to transfer to Kentucky from
Matt Harms.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
About him.
Yeah. Man,
I think got into the portal. They went and got more big white dudes.
I think Kentucky Drew Timme would have done a good job guarding him. I remember his time in Kentucky. That was great.
The memes with that made ESPN. Like that was an actual ESPN reported thing with the memes. Just beautiful. But yeah, Daniel Jacobson, being out in Colorado Springs, we talked about him when we were out there. Pope got his hands on both Malachi Moreno and Daniel Jacobson in that event. I'll be honest, Daniel Jacobson kind of stunk in that event. Malachi was eating his lunch. It was the absolute best. So I'm watching that matchup as well. That Daniel Jacobson is the next Zach Edey, Matt Harms, go down the list of all the absolute giants at Purdue. But I think Malachi is going to give him the business on Friday.
Do we think his mother is Dana Jacobson?
I thought that's what he said. From Cold Pizza.
Yeah.
Jay Crawford.
Yeah, and she got fired for saying something at a company work party. Maybe had a little, got after her a little bit too much. I believe, allegedly. But now she's at CBS News and does Saturday mornings and then gets NFL games on Sunday. So not a bad rebound because she could have ended up being on First Take, which I can't imagine a worse job than sitting in the middle of Screaming A. Smith and whoever else they have on there.
And Jay Crawford did the rare move of leave Bristol to go do local sports in Ohio to go home.
Shout out Jay Crawford.
Big fan.
Yeah, very calming presence, unlike Skip and Stephen A. Which, how they got that from that, I'll never know. Nostalgia.
Good times. Good times. One thing I can guarantee, if there's a number 9 in that box score, Pope is going to bring it up in the post-game press conference because he did it again today. I mean, he said it, I feel like, a million times now. If there's a number 9, he's going to point it out. UK was number 9 in the AP poll, number 9 in the coaches poll. Today, he even broke out a math equation to bring up the number 9. I mean, this was a bit of a stretch. He was like, he left into the presser with there are 27 UK players on opening night NBA rosters. Divide that by 3 because that's, UK led. What was it? It was like UK had the most
broke the all-time record for threes in a season.
So it was like 27 divided by 3. What do you got? 9. Dropped the mic and then just walked out. And it was like, God bless him. Like, he's just trying so hard to manifest it. But I love that he's leaning into that. And I like to call it a bit, but I really don't think it's a bit. I think like wherever he goes, he's looking for the number 9. Like he's at the grocery store. He's like adding stuff up. Steven, do you want to just hop on and give these numerology things you gave to me? I mean, I can read them if not, but.
Yeah, no, sure. I can go through them real fast.
Shocker, Steven's into numerology.
Mark Pope's birthday, September of 72, the 9th month, 7 + 2 = 9.
Oh my gosh.
In Mark Pope's final year of playing in the NBA, he shot 33.3% from the field. 3 + 3 + 3 = 9.
All right.
Was he like 1 of 3 from 3? Is that his?
Probably. Guess how many games he played in his final season?
3.
9.
4.
He played in 9 games in the 04-05 season. 04 + 05 = 9. He started coaching in the 09 season, and he averaged 1.9 points per game.
1 times 9 is
63 assists, and he had 261 rebounds. 2 + 6 + 1 = 9.
When did you come up with this? I really want to know. Is this
he did it like this afternoon. He
did it while driving home.
Hey, Steven. Mark Pope is from Bellevue, Washington. What is the 9th biggest city in the state of Washington?
No, it's not.
Huh? I have no idea. But
I was about to say, all right, wait, let him cook for a second. That might
maybe it is. I don't know. That would be cool.
That actually might be something.
Mark Pope's thing today, I get the number 9. I love that it's on the wall. I love that we're ranked number 9. I love that Trent Noah wears number 9. If Pope goes to Taco Bell, I think the Crunchwrap Supreme combo is number 9. I'm sure he orders that. But today felt very forced. Those stats didn't really go together. It was like, all right, Mark, you're trying to cram that peg into that hole. That one doesn't fit like some of the others. Like what Steven said, I can get in the numerology there. The one Pope gave was not a good example.
And it's coming from Steven, right? We expect Peak to be deep into the numbers and finding all of the 9s possible. I don't want Mark Pope to be doing this, right? Taylor Swift, eat your heart out, right? We don't need this. Like, just get $9 million to go buy Tyron Stokes or whatever it is. Like, that's the
Tyron Stokes costs $9 million,
right? Like, I mean, all right, fine. It's what I don't know. I love cornball stuff, and this is a step too far. All right, I draw a line at this.
Look at Richmond.
Nick Roush
This is crazy. Hit the approve button, whoever has that access.
Oh,
Richmond's just blowing our mind.
Oh my god!
It's just like if you're looking for it, you can find it. That's why numerology is kind of it is what it is. I'm not going to yuck some people's yums like astrology. Don't give a rat's ass. But you know what? That if you like it, if you're into it, fine. I would, there's a line. There's a certain line. And
Well, when you've gone over Nick Roush's line of corny and cheese, it's quite a line. But my question to Stephen was, whenever we do win number 9, it'll be awesome, but great. But then we got to start manifesting 10. And then all of these things that we've talked about won't have mattered because we'll have a new number to focus on. But I think we'll take that when we get there.
I do have that, though, if you're ready for it.
We're not.
yes, no, yeah. Come on, give me your
We're
tens.
not.
Okay, tens. Well, he's 6'10", and he weighs 235 pounds according to Wikipedia. 2 + 3 + 5. We're winning number 9 and 10 this year.
There you go.
All at once. Well, as lovely as we would like to sit here and talk about the Purdue game all day, there is another game this weekend
Oh
Yeah.
God.
against the dirty, rotten team that is in the state that I am in, the Tennessee Volunteers. Literally under this bullet point on my notes, I have the Tennessee game. Do we even want to talk about it? Nick Roush, I'll let you answer that question as someone who talks about it a lot.
Tennessee's defense is bad, so if you get what you got out of Cutter Boley and the Kentucky offense, then there's a chance we break the streak of SEC games without 2+ touchdowns. That would be awesome. The issue is that Josh Heupel seemingly scores however many points he wants to whenever he plays Kentucky. Last year was kind of an exception. They didn't really play well in that game. But also, let's be real. We grew up watching Kentucky football, so we know what this game means. You're getting your ass kicked when you play them. I
can't wait to be there and see it in person. It's going to be so fun.
Okay. I do think it is a fun thought exercise to just how much will it mess up people's brains if you're mad at Mark Stoops, you're ready for a new coach, but he beat Tennessee? Like that would really I don't know how people would know how to feel.
Well, I mean, it'd be like the Joker game, right? Didn't they?
But, they weren't
like he
good.
had one happy memory, and then it makes it a little
All downhill from there. Well, then it would get people and even like they would think, well, that's his last win. We're going to suck forever. Now they're going to it's going to mess people up. But Drew, I will not be sad if Kentucky beats Tennessee. I will still be happy because every time Kentucky beats Tennessee, an angel gets its wings, and we need more angels out there.
Yeah, we need angels in this world, and this game is bigger than any one coaching search. It's bigger than Mark Stoops. I want to beat Tennessee in football. Like you all, our whole lifetime has been losing this game, except for I think maybe there's been 3 in my lifetime. Some of the others, maybe only 2. Regardless, we don't win this game. So I don't care what it means for the coaching spot. That was the conversation. They beat Texas. I want to beat Tennessee. I'm not highly optimistic.
No.
But this is a one-off. I want to beat Tennessee because I always want to beat Tennessee. And whatever that means for the big picture, don't care. I just want Tennessee to lose a football game in Lexington.
If we had a Kentucky versus Tennessee rock, paper, scissors match, I'm going all in, right? I want them to experience pain at any moment they possibly can. And if I get to be the one that delivers it, even better. So I hope it happens. And here's another thing too. If you are one of those people who's like, oh, but if he wins, Stoops going to save his job. Florida showed to us that it doesn't, wins and losses don't matter, right? Yeah, they might just be over you and you might be ready to move on. I think Mitch is giving Stoops a longer leash to try to win his way back. And this would go a long way, but that beating Tennessee guarantees nothing.
I'm thinking of the banter if they do beat Tennessee and Stoops gets fired. Like, we beat you with a bad team and fired the coach. And they would say, well, we've won the last 30, whatever, we get it. But there is a little bit of we're not even good and we got to beat you. So that would add a little more excitement.
Well, and maybe that transitions into, I wanted to mention it briefly. Our colleague at On3, Justin Rowland, had another great kind of insider report on Cats Illustrated today about what he's hearing behind the scenes. And I'm not going to spoil it. You should subscribe to Cats Illustrated or KSR Plus. You'll have access to both. Promo code UK1 gets you 2 months for $1. 2 weeks for $1. Is that right?
2 months.
2 months. That's a deal.
It was for the longest time, unless they changed it.
Yeah. Either way, subscribe. It's well worth it. But his latest report kind of suggested that maybe there is a possibility, not a big possibility, but there is at least a possibility that Kentucky may make a move in season to get rid of Stoops. I don't think that would be a publicly thing. Like, I just don't think that they're going to do that publicly, but maybe there's stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about that, there have been conversations that have been had. It's like, we want to go in a different direction, which kind of gives Mitch and whomever is doing the hiring a chance to get a head start on things. I mean, Nick, you've talked about it, ad nauseum about the coaching carousel this year. There's several big jobs open. There's several more about to come open. How much are you taking this stuff seriously? Do you really think there is a chance that Kentucky could make a public move in the middle of the season? And what's the scenario in which that would have to happen?
If they lose to Tennessee Tech, I don't think things will get bad enough to do, because a lot of that sort of, it sounds like, I just call it booster talk, where there's a lot of Johnny insiders on the internet, and I'm not calling Roland one of them, but you see the Big Blue update and the Big Blue in your face and all these other guys, or some things are happening because they talk to a lot of money men, and those people are generally more optimistic that something's going to happen, because when you talk to a booster, that means that somebody in power is trying to maybe squeeze some money out of them to make this happen. That doesn't mean that it's going to just snap your fingers. Mark Stoops is the winningest coach in program history. He's never fired anybody in the middle of the season. He told us without telling us that Rich Scangarello was fired after that Vanderbilt game. We're going to let the process play out. I don't think his boss would ever do that unless things get to levels that are happening elsewhere where coaches have been fired, like Oklahoma State. They didn't score forever. Wisconsin hasn't scored a touchdown in a month. They've got shut out back-to-back weeks. Kentucky does have a pulse, right? And now things can change, but I think they're going to let the games play out. And there's also a part of all of this stuff is that's the part that's interesting, is Roland will at least give you a little bit of sense of the nature of conversations happening behind the scenes. But you don't have to fire Mark Stoops to go look for another coach. What is stopping Mitch Barnhart from, or people connected to Mitch Barnhart, from talking to other people? Because I think other coaches that might be on that short list have already talked to people at Kentucky and expressed interest in the job if it opens. So why does Mark Stoops have to be fired? Just to please a fan or two? My general sentiment is just that I don't know how much it actually gained, how much you can gain from it, unless you're trying to beat another school to the punch that you may see as a threat that gets fired. So Kentucky beats Auburn for the first time on the Plains, or second time, on the Plains since the 60s. And then Hugh Freeze gets fired, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, ooh, we're in a tough spot here. Maybe something like that happens, but then it's will Mitch even want to fire him if Stoops is ripping off wins at Auburn and then beats Florida at home? Right? So, I think it's hard for us as Kentucky fans to deal with all of this, because there's 6 more games to play. Yeah. And you kind of got to just let them play.
So if you don't beat Tennessee, that Auburn game will be interesting, because Stoops will get Hugh Freeze fired, which could land them some raw, which would lift Stoops up in Barnhart's ass.
So my counter to all of it is it doesn't have to be an ugly thing. If this is where this is truly trending, and it does feel that, I think the interesting part of Roland's reporting is that a lot of this is coming from Stoops' side, that it's kind of an openness to him saying, yeah, I think I'm open to having those types of conversations at some point. Stoops is an ultimate legacy guy. This is his only head coaching job. This is his, this is his baby. Being the winningest coach of Kentucky football history is something that's very, very important to him. He could have the ultimate send-off where if, I was kind of selfishly hoping that we heard something, this past Sunday and, announced Monday where the rest of the season, as Nick said, we have 6 more games to go. We're going to ride. The games have to be played one way or the other. If this is truly where this is trending, announce like, hey, this is my last ride, and turn this into a retirement party, a going away farewell tour, and we can celebrate this man every single game and kind of build some natural excitement that was definitely not going to be there if we're still kind of playing the wishy-washy. Well, man, who are we rooting for? Are we rooting for Kentucky to win this game, or are we rooting for Kentucky to lose so Stoops gets fired? You don't have to play that card anymore. We can just push all of our chips in on massive support. We want Kentucky to win every single game to, send him off on a high note. If you beat Tennessee, I do kind of wonder if there is like is that the right time for Stoops to say, hey, this is I think that the conversations are getting serious enough with, internally that, we're open to a change and maybe that leads to some fan excitement down the stretch. It doesn't have to be a negative thing is my point.
No, and the other part too, that's why I say let the games play out, because there's so many scenarios. He could win his way into another job. Going back to the Virginia Tech thing that came out earlier, you can win 5 games and somebody else wants to hire you, and that's your way out. So, but there's a lot of moving parts. I will say, and I've got something I'm posting tonight. Just what Cutter Boley's done is he got put in an unfair situation. Basically, everything sucks. The one thing that can save Stoops is this redshirt freshman who is in his 3rd career start on the road at South Carolina, and he's just gotten better every week. He had 300 total yards and completed 80% of his passes against a top 5 defense in the country, which might be a defense that will win a couple playoff games. They're that good. They probably won't, but that defense is incredible. And for him to do that with a very average supporting cast, I think there's a reason Seth McGowan was leading the team in receptions and receiving yards against Texas. All while the plan was for him to not play at all, and he got thrown in this situation, and they're kind of changing the playbook as they go. He didn't get any of the reps, really, with the first team during fall camp. It's incredible what he's been able to do. And I know he hasn't gotten in the win column, and he hasn't thrown a lot of touchdowns, but, so far, it's exceeded my wildest expectations. And if you can continue to show these steps, wouldn't it be kind of hilarious that Stoops finally gets a quarterback? And
yeah, it would be fun.
He also didn't see that this was the quarterback.
Right. It would kind of be on him. Yeah.
Yeah. It took an injury for him to even put him out there.
Well, we've got months probably to talk about the Stoops situation in Kentucky. We'll be there on Saturday to see what happens at Kroger Field. Fingers crossed for the best, brace for the worst. But I'm excited at least to get out there and tailgate. It's supposed to be a pretty day. I think rain was in the forecast, but not anymore. So fingers crossed. Something much happier. KSR turned 20 yesterday. Although if you go by the exact number of Matt's first KSR post, it's not until November 30th. Apparently they filed the website domain yesterday, 20 years ago. So we'll take that as a reason to celebrate. Obviously, Drew, you and I have been here the longest. You have been on full-time longer than I have. Oh, yeah. So I pulled up some old KSR photos that include the group here. This one was at the SEC tournament in Tampa when John Calipari held his Zoom press conference at 11:45 at night.
That was fun. Thanks, John. Yeah, appreciate that, John.
That was great. This was the SEC tournament in 2017. Nick Roush was there with us that year. That was clearly fun by the look on my face.
These are 4 blue boxes.
These are 4 blue boxes. We've got more coming. But yeah, it's crazy to think back on it hasn't been 20 years for me, but 20 years since this entity has existed. And Drew, you joined in 2009. I mean, I guess
Correct.
I joined in 2010, but if you go back to the Blogger contest, it was 2008. This was when this was your first SEC tournament as a media member. So 2016, when we did our podcast, our wrap up, whatever we did under the stairs at the Omni. That was fun.
Yeah, I think down the hallway they had the Country Music Hall of Fame or something. I remember seeing Dolly Parton's boots, maybe.
Yeah, it's right there in the
boots. Boots.
T is important there. Yeah, I remember. Oh yes, Worldwide West walking into one of the mini KSR dinners. That's kind of what I wanted to like.
Oh my gosh, the dinners.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Like the dichotomy of what KSR seems like, and then the reality of what it is it always cracks me up because we have these crazy Christmas parties, SEC tournament dinners, whatever, where people like Worldwide West walk into the room, or Rick Pitino comes and pinches Drew Franklin on the shoulder. Like it seems like this very glamorous thing, but then you come to the reality of it, and it's us working at midnight on a John Calipari Zoom in a hotel lobby, or being the last people to leave the press box, or interviewing Drew's dad at the SEC tournament, as you can see here.
What's up, Dad?
I know. Just had to open the vault. But like, it always cracks me up, the dichotomy of it seems like such a glamorous job. And in some ways it is. And it's always off the wall and ridiculous. But the hours we put into it just really make the 20-year anniversary that much more meaningful to me. But this was one of my favorites.
Oh, man.
What year was this?
Look at a young Aaron Fleener.
I know. Look at Nick Roush.
Look at that head of hair.
Oh,
Goodness.
the feathery hair. I don't know what I'm doing with my face.
This is 2016, I think, SEC tournament. Drew, you couldn't be there for summer.
I think it might have been a Vandy.
No, it was a Vandy game, and I think Matt and I were doing Tennis Channel somewhere. I wouldn't even, I would have been at a Vandy game if I could have been with all these people. We were somewhere far away, and I sent a Snapchat to Fleener or somebody that said, I need more Jesus and less Fireball. Whatever I was doing, I was up to no good. And you all proceeded to blow it up and take me to the party, even though I couldn't be there.
That was fun.
Yeah, I think that was the game that Kentucky didn't cover the receivers. Which one? But, probably 15. I mean, yeah. That was back when we could really get after it on Demond Brand. Is that a little Keeneland action?
That's one of the times we went to Keeneland. Matt, go ahead.
I'm a little disappointed. I've had KSR's 20th anniversary in my calendar to have content ready for 6 months. So yesterday, this was out of the blue, and I've had no chance. I have 1,000 photos. I've just not had a moment to go dig it all up. But if I could screen share, I would pull up my Google Calendar, and it says like November 10th, start 20th anniversary prep. So I feel very unprepared right now.
So
but this is a fun
I
trip.
know they like sprang us on us. Like, so Matt just decided that yesterday was the day. I don't know if they actually filed the domain name, on October 22nd, 2005 or not. But I was like, we had to have had something more ready than a hastily written column by me, like the 20 best moments of KSR's 20 years or something like that. Like I feel like we could have been more prepared.
Well, here's the thing,
I think I'm
guys.
still going to do it. I have like drafts ready. I have 1 million photos. I think I'm just going to celebrate it again when I was already planning to celebrate it in mid-November.
Facts have always been optional. So,
that's
down to birthdays.
Yeah. I mean, people do birthday week, birthday month now. So, yeah, we can do that.
Birthday season for us.
Jack, what's your favorite game you've been to?
Ooh,
just favorite. Think back.
Illinois because
Wars.
it's the first time I ever got to see a Sweet 16. So winning against Illinois in Milwaukee was my favorite. So
Milwaukee was a good time.
Yeah, I like that one.
Fond memories.
I don't know. Like, it was such a awful experience at the same time, but also an amazing one. Snapping the streak at Florida. Like
that had to have been number one on your list. Yeah.
Because like my body was in a lot of pain the next day because I was so like my neck and my back were just so like tight and like stressed out from everything. And then I was on such an adrenaline rush. I mean, that was a 7:30 kick, I think. and I didn't get back to my hotel till 2. And then I stayed up till 5, like writing and drinking. I mean, like it was just like, dude, you only get to post about Kentucky snapping the streak at Florida once.
Well,
and then
Jared.
Oh man, incredible! And then I had to drive back, 18 hours, whatever that drives forever, an eternity the next day. Like I had to pull over at one point because that was when I was listening to the post game show and Jared called in, and I had to just pull over. I was like, "Whew!" It was a whirlwind.
That was also the opening of KS Bar, and I got after it that night. That was an all-time KS Bar night, and I'm very grateful to be a part of that.
Were you sprayed with champagne by Ryan
yes,
Lemon?
Man, what a night.
A fun story of that night. I was there. I was the last one to leave the bar. In fact, I think I slept in the office. But we had the garage doors open. No one from ABC Lexington watches this, right? Not the news, but the ABC that would tell you not to serve beer at 4 a.m.
Right.
The team was coming back from Gainesville, and the coaches wanted to come by. But they're like, we'll be there at 4. And it's like, this isn't like a house party. We would love to have you here, but we can't just have the doors open and hundreds of people in here at 4 a.m. still celebrating. So we went as long as we could into the night, might have stretched it a little past rules, but still couldn't get the team back in time for them to join the celebration. But it did feel like a house party. At one point, there was a trough we had that someone was serving canned beer out of for $5, and that person just went home and didn't tell anyone, just left the trough of canned beer, and people are just helping themselves. Good times.
Oh, man.
Some other memories I had, the NCAA trying to throw Drew out of Indianapolis in 2017 for taking a picture of drunk Lynn Marshall. Was sitting right next to you when that happened, and we'll never forget that guy coming over, the head of the NCAA or whoever was in charge of the site, and they're like, you need to take down that tweet. And you looked at me and was like, what am I supposed to do? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, do we need to call Matt? And Matt was doing the post-game show.
He was talking about it on the show, yeah.
That was so tense. And meanwhile, Lynn Marshall is still walking around the press conference area, drunk. Man.
I didn't know you all took this to Malone's the next day, but I have more pictures of that.
It made the rounds.
Yeah.
The website crashing is my favorite.
Yeah.
The day Patino got fired, because we would have the website crashes at times, and you kind of knew. I mean, that was literally I just hit refresh for 30 minutes, just hoping I could copy paste publish. I was just copy paste publish just to get something out there. That was, I think that's the only performance based bonus we ever got because the traffic was so insane. It's like here's some money from all your hard work. It's like I don't think we actually could do much that day, but I'll take it.
No.
I after big wins back then, my friends would be like, where are you at? You coming out? I'm like, A, it's going to be at least 2 hours on my best day. And B, we can't even get the website to work. So it's going to be 4 hours. New Orleans, everyone's on Bourbon Street. Tyler and I are just refresh in the media room, just trying to get a post up. So I don't miss them, but my biggest memory is fighting the WordPress that never worked in big moments.
We haven't gotten to test the On3 servers. I think we're due.
Yeah,
we're due for a Final Four run, and we gotta
give them up for their money.
Yeah, we gotta see. We gotta test their limits.
They survived John Calipari pushing a dog in a stroller. They're all right. In the old days, that would have shut down in minutes. I actually thought that when the Cal thing was happening. I thought if this were 2015, a KSR would just be an error message for hours. So
we mentioned some of the weird ones. Patino at our Christmas party, and Jared and Wu are there, and you're just like, what's going on? Austin last year was.
I've always the stories of this are great.
We can't tell the full story. There needs to be more time, but the abridged version is that there was a lot of people watching a Kentucky basketball game together, and Kevin Richardson shows up because he just wants to hang with all the Kentucky fans. That's where they're all watching the game. And then some folks who work at UK Athletics showed up, and they're in our group, and mean, eventually we started airing some grievances, and it was a come into Jesus talk, right? After some beverages about where they're wrong, where they think we're wrong, and we're telling them, no, you're wrong. I mean, it was an hour at least, kind of going back and forth, and just through it all, a Backstreet Boys just sitting there listening to it.
He was in the middle. He was like,
just like, oh, so that's what's going on. It was
We need to have him on to tell the story.
that just. It wasn't just hanging out with Kevin Richardson. It was that he was just in the middle of that. Like that.
Yeah.
he was like hunched down in a circle looking up. Just listening. I never get in arguments. I haven't had an argument in a long time. That was probably my last argument. And it's just to have him just like, I remember yelling, he's Nick, he's Adam, I'm Drew. If your problem's with someone else, take it up with him.
Sometimes you just got to air it out, man. I mean, oh, man.
Oh, man, that was electric. Oh,
And that game was awesome. It was one of the early basketball games, but I think they were just knocking 3 after 3.
Oh.
And that place was in Austin was going crazy.
Because Jamie was there, and he's from where Travis Perry yeah. And Travis Perry hits a 3, and like the whole place is just going crazy. I mean, good times.
Trying to think
That was the same trip too that Luckett and I on Thursday night stopped in Texarkana and watched my Pittsburgh Steelers lose to Jameis Winston in the snow at the most depressing Hooters in America. I mean, there was some dude wearing a Steelers shirt, dogging the Steelers with all 3 teeth in his mouth. I mean, it was.
Oh my God.
My favorite. That's a good one. My favorite is being in a bathtub with Tom Hart and Todd Lanner in the Bahamas. I remember. So Dr. Mike, bless his heart, I love him to death, but he was big on while we were down in the Bahamas. He'd take the pictures from the games, whatever we played, pack up his stuff, get back to the hotel room, and then text me like, "All right, you ready to go party?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, we got a whole slate of posts to write. Like, we're just getting started." So I remember it was one of those nights. He wrapped up, got back to the hotel room. I'm the last person, like I am at every single gym I've ever been in, the last person sitting in courtside working, finally wrap up, close my laptop, get back to my hotel room. And there are 20 people in the hotel room. And it is Todd Lanner, Maria Montgomery, Tom Hart, bunch of people I have no idea who was broadcasting with Tom Hart.
Jimmy Dykes?
Tennessee fan.
Oh no! I know you're Dane Bradshaw.
Yes, Dane Bradshaw.
I like Dane Bradshaw.
20 people in my hotel room. I'm like, what's happening?
What did I walk into?
Beer everywhere. They are having a party in there, and they're like, "Hey, let's take a picture. We got to take a hotel picture." I'm like, "All right, yeah, sounds good." And we all pile into the bathtub together with clothes on, fortunately, and we take a group picture. But yes, I can say I was in the bathtub with
that's
Tom
not
Hart.
The picture I remember from that trip.
Yeah,
There's
me
one
too.
of you and Dr. Mike on the water slide that I wish I had pulled up so we could.
I really wish that you wouldn't put that out there.
You scrubbed it from the internet.
Probably pull that up.
You can find that.
We could probably find that.
You were such a good sport.
The texts I got after that, asking me where that picture came from and if it came from an X-rated website, I'm glad. That needs to go away forever. So do not show that.
I guess it's a good thing there weren't cameras at 2015 in the Bahamas, Drew.
Oh, there were cameras. I got a lot on here. This
There
thing.
were some moments on that trip.
Put this in the UK museum when I die. There's some Bahamas memories in here. That was a special trip. That was the difference in the Bahamas trip from 2015 to the next one. Like I remember Tyler Hero walking through the casino on the second trip with security guards on each side of him. If he had been there in 2015, there was no security. It would have been, I'm using him as an example, name the player, they would have been out at whatever hour they wanted, enjoying themselves. That got shut down real quick on the second one.
Shout out to West for Robin for the super chat. Congrats on turning 20, gang. Drew and Tyler, what's a memory you're really fond of that you had in your early days of working for this company? Not the late Matt Jones phone calls when we did something wrong. I'll tell you that. One fond memory I
It's
have.
the worst feeling. Just looking down at 10:45 and you see Matt Jones and you're like, oh God, what did I do? What did I miss?
Yep. One memory I have that I joined part-time contributor in 2010, like right at the end of the John Wall season. And Drew, you were down at the SEC tournament. It was in Atlanta, I think. And you were running the live blog. And for some reason you added me as a moderator for the first time, and you were just like, all right, take over. And I had never run the live blog before. So it was like, okay. And then I just got used to running the live blog, but that was a fun memory.
Isn't that what we do with our bloggers? We're just like, here's how you post.
Pretty much.
Go.
Yeah. And that's another great part.
Just
let people have the website. Interns.
Sunday.
No experience.
Sundays.
Just have the website
Jack,
for hours.
You got the site for Sunday. Have fun. Wait, what?
The one, there was one time where it was right. Like basically Matt was like, we're thinking about bringing you on full time coming up. And I'm like, okay, sweet. This is awesome. I was doing like weekends and nights or something like that. I don't really remember. But essentially, it was his name. It wasn't Chad Simmons, but who was the point guard from Georgia? Last name Simmons. It was probably like 2015. Either way, it's irrelevant. He went somewhere. He went to Arizona. He ended up sucking. But the point was, he dropped his like top 10 or something like that. And Matt calls me and is like, why isn't that up on the site? And I was like, well, I don't know. We've got this politician who writes a thing every Sunday. I don't know whose goes first. I was like, nobody ever told me how to do this job. Like I don't know.
Technically, that was our job, meaning me and Drew. But by the time it got to the night or the weekends, both of us were so dead and just over it. It was like, sure, we'll trust.
Yeah, I don't know what gets priority. Like I'm just figuring it out as I go. You have to tell me. If you tell me, I'll change it. Like yeah, fine. Like
well, most of the policies we have now were me or Tyler figuring it out as we went. Because when I took over, I didn't have any instruction.
Right.
So it's all kind of been one big. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pass it on down the line.
Figure it out.
Has there ever been a post that's absolutely bombed that you all have written and you thought was going to be good? Because I have one. It was like a remake of This Is Why You Suck, like that Duke parody.
Ooh,
and I did it about UNC, and I spent too long on it, and I thought it was hilarious. And this is early on in my KSR days.
Oh, and the comments would crush you too.
Oh yeah, the comments killed me.
Smearing cat. I still want to know who you are, and you're smearing a cat.
Hey,
I remember that bombed, and that was I was just like, well, I'm not going to have a future in this. I'm terrible at this, but go ahead.
We do need to tip our cap to Drew with one. I know people think about Patterson and Lucas as early KSR success stories. Matt Roark, starting quarterback against Tennessee.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Louisville Heyday. I'll take Matt Roark too. Yeah, that was good scoop. The best part of that scoop was all of the people telling me I was wrong and me just having to sit there and take it because I had no credibility. I have I'm going to start saying some names, but some big names in UK media were just straight up like, this idiot's wrong. And I just kept going, nope, watch. Now I'll admit, when I got to the stadium, pretty nervous at that point. That was a nerve unlike any bet I've made on a game, any Kentucky big game. That's like, I really need this to actually happen now. I knew it was happening because my source was good. But when the entire press box, they were literally laughing at KSR for putting it out there. And because Tom Leach even defended me afterwards. I think he might have said on the broadcast, like one person had this. So I remember Tom is doing, and he would have known.
He's a real one.
Week. Yeah. But I remember Tom gave me the pat on the back, but the rest of them were like, "Ooh, Matt Roark, quarterback."
Dude, that is the worst feeling. I had one similar before the Lynn Bowden Louisville game because I heard that a bunch of Louisville players were sick, and the they were like, like Malik Cunningham's not going to be able to play, and there was like reporters flexing on me because Rocco told them that Malik Cunningham is starting. And then Lynn Bowden ran for 1,000 yards and Kentucky won by 1,000,000. And 2 days later, the sheriff's like, well, confirming Roush's report, they actually were sick and had food poisoning. It's like, eat it.
Take
Sometimes we do know what we're doing. Not always.
Hey, another great memory
once in a
that
while.
I kind of forgotten, and my husband reminded me last night. The dramatic reading of Breaking Cardinal Rules.
Oh.
You all remember that was so good, and that's
It's very
before
good.
we had Steven, like before we knew
Yeah.
really what we were doing with video, and we made it. I mean, all of the Louisville scandals. Drew, I know that's your specialty, but I feel like we all pitched in, and that was in a time where you could not get content out fast enough.
I got to be the video guy for the Katina interview. So if you, that's the one place where you can see the actual squirt to the ceiling. And just like being in the room, like sitting there, I'm holding an old Android phone, just like, and that was when it was supposed to be secret, and Ryan accidentally let it leak because he had his location on his phone when he tweeted. Good times. Good times.
I was on a flight that day to go interview Winion Gabriel, and when I landed, it already happened. So my phone was – I honestly thought someone had died or something. It's one of those, like, there's no reason I should have 94 text messages right now. So it's one of those, you take a deep breath, like, what am I about to see? And then it was just squirt. I wasn't even able to be a part of it because I had to go watch Winion Gabriel score 2 points in New Hampshire and then barely do an interview with me. I got to come home. Fun times.
That was another memory I had. Like all the recruiting profiles we had to do. Like we flew across the country to interview these guys. I mean,
could have easily been a phone call.
Yeah, I went to Wisconsin and watched Tyler Hero, and I went to Texas to watch De'Aaron Fox. I mean, you went to Greensboro to see Bam, right? Like
I was parallel parked outside Quad A Greens High School so long. Yeah. I think I'm on a list. It was like, in movies when they just sit in the white van and do surveillance, that was just me waiting for someone to answer my phone call because I was just in Philly with nothing to do but interview Quad A Green. I got there early like I was supposed to, then no one would talk to me, and I just sat outside St. whatever school it was all day. Like what am I doing? Just go home. Please go home.
I think one of the first things I traveled for was I rode with Drew to Drew Barker's commitment ceremony, where I'm like some kids just had a drug deal right next to us. I mean, it was just in the parking lot after school. Like it was just right there. Like, oh, okay. All right.
I remember setting up shop in McDonald's that day. We made a little KSR headquarters. That's another thing. We work from the most random places.
Yeah.
I could write a book on places I've pulled out my laptop and had to write a post. This was actually when Matt and I did the CBS year of March Madness. I had to write the Vandy something recap in March Madness. However, I was at Two Keys because Kentucky played would have been 2010, one of our first opponents. So I asked the Two Keys manager if I could go in there and write a recap for CBS Sports about a Vandy game that I did not watch. So I pulled up a box score. This is pre-Twitter where you can get enough. Yeah. I'm like, well, that guy had 8 points. And I'm like, I'll be out right in a minute, hold the Kentucky game, and I'm just firing off a post about a Vandy tournament loss just because, you're always on the clock.
We've been doing it long enough that I used to write posts from the chapter room of my fraternity house that I lived in.
Wow.
Man. So it's been quite a run, although I do need to run. I realize date night.
Oh, date night. Date night.
Yeah.
Farewell. Have fun.
All right. I'm going to go enjoy some country, boys. I'll see y'all.
We'll wrap it up without you. Have fun.
All right.
I have two that I wanted to include. I couldn't remember the guy's name. It took me forever. But remember my random beef with Michael Rappaport? That was hilarious.
That was like what you became a legend. Like I knew Jack Pilgrim was destined for good things when that came out.
That was because I called him a not really, but I found the old article. It was posted, let's see, June 25th, 2017. I said, not really, but somewhat famous actor Michael Rappaport decided to throw a jab at Coach Calipari, and it's about as funny as you'd expect. He said, I'd check to see if I still have my wallet on me after shaking hands with John Calipari. Just such a stupid tweet. And I said something. And he goes on his show and he cusses me out up and down, left and right. It is the funniest, just hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And I tried to he said that he wanted to play one-on-one with me. He came in town for that Big 3 event, and I tried to play him one-on-one, and he hid in the back of Rupp. It was just hilarious. Just a really bizarre time of my life that I had beef with a guy that was kind of once famous on Friends or something. And then the other time, I got a call that we were talking about the late night calls from Matt Jones, and the craziest one was, it was Sunday night. It was 10:30 on a Sunday night.
All is when they happen.
He calls. I had already been done with the website. Sunday Night Football's on. I'm just, probably drinking a beer, just enjoying myself. And he goes, Gunnar Hoke's dad is furious with you. Like, wants to talk to you right now. And I'm like, why? Why do I want to talk to Gunnar Hoke's dad? He's the backup, like not even playing. He's like, he said that you wrote a post about him and took his words out of context. And I said, I'm pretty sure that entire post was just screenshots of his tweets. I'm not sure how you take tweets out of context, but he went on this tweet rant talking about Eddie Gran, saying that Eddie Gran was the worst offensive coordinator of all time. Just couldn't believe that the father of the backup quarterback was as, loose-lipped on Twitter as he was. I was like, hey, this needs to be a KSR post because the backup quarterback's dad is talking trash about the offensive coordinator. And he was like, the dad called me and was like, I would just really love for you to take the post down. I said, dude, I'm not taking the post down. They were your words. If you would like to add context, add something to it, I'm happy to, add clarification, whatever. He was like, well, I think adding to it would just draw more attention to it. And I said, so why are we on the phone right now? What are we trying to get after? So Gunnar Hoke's dad and I having beef, and Michael Rappaport and I having beef. That two very unexpected KSR turns for me.
And speaking of tweets, I used to do that tweet beat post, once a week or whatever. And I included tweets from not only UK players, but like local media people that were funny. And I won't repeat the tweet in case they're watching. I doubt they are. But I remember a local Lexington newscaster getting very, very upset that I shared one of her tweets that was in a back and forth between her and her boyfriend. And I wanted to be like, it's on the internet. Like, this is public. It's on Twitter. Don't be making these jokes if you don't want people to see them. So RIP tweet beat. Those were the days. We could get a lot wackier back in the day. Like, I kind of miss that. I don't know if it's because I guess we're older is part of it, and we're bigger. Like the KSR as an entity is bigger, so it feels like we have to be more professional or something. But back in the day, we could just write. We can still write whatever we want, but it just felt like we had such creative freedom, and we really took advantage of it.
Drew, I remember the best thing that you've ever written, something that made me have to. I laughed for hours about it, was when you talked about how we need to embrace cheating in baseball to make it entertaining, and that you welcomed people, batters stabbing steroid needles in their ass was your exact verbiage. And embrace steroids. We need metal bats. We need final scores that are 78-72 final to make baseball more interesting. That was like prime KSR, like just the absolute epitome of. Like I remember, I can't believe that somebody would actually put in written form that he wanted batters to stab a needle in their ass with steroids to make baseball more entertaining.
I mean, I did title a blog post, "I'd rather shower with my dad than go to Starkville." So,
would you do that now? Like, would you write that post now, though? I guess.
Yeah, that one
you're
I
over
probably
40. Would. Yeah.
That one I probably would, though.
Would you still shower with your dad instead of going to Starkville?
Starkville's actually improved their restaurant scene, so I will rescind that comment because I went to a good restaurant last time I was there. So that one restaurant has changed my whole entire premise. A funny story about that one, though. Someone within Kentucky basketball told me they were on the team bus heading to the Hump. I think it was the Hump that year in Starkville where they play. And the bus driver stood up and turned around and said, "Which one of you is Drew Franklin?" Because they thought it was Kentucky radio affiliated. And Coach Cal is like, "What are we doing? What is going on?" And the guy was like, "I just took offense to something that this guy wrote." And someone had to be like, "He's not affiliated with us at all. That's a blog." So it even made its way to the team bus. The bus driver in Starkville was upset.
I love that. Well, we could tell stories for days. Maybe we can do a whole other show with more stories as we stretch out our 20th anniversary.
We'll do it on the actual 20th anniversary.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember 20th.
We'll have more stories. But we'll wrap up with the KSR Q&A because we're running late. Stephen, if you want to hop on in that fourth box and join us, you can. All right, Connor R says, game prediction for Kentucky Purdue. Who will start? Who will be the MVP for Kentucky? Jack, I'll let you take this one first. I mean, if Jaylen Lowe was playing, I want Kentucky to win, obviously, but I feel like the pressure to win would be more. Now I'm just like, I want to see a competitive game. I want to see some interesting combinations. I want to see what Pope does with the backcourt. Does Aberdeen start? I would assume how they manage the point guard position. But what's your starting five, Jack?
I feel pretty confident about the starting five. I believe it's going to be Denzel Aberdeen at the 1, Otega Owe at the 2, Trent Noah getting the nod at the 3, Mo Diabate and BG is the 4 and 5. So feeling pretty good about that one. It's going to sound controversial. I think Kentucky's going to lose tomorrow. I do. I think that a lot is going in Purdue's favor, bringing back so much talent from last year. You guys, as Drew said before, been around for 10 years. There's so much continuity there that I think that's going to favor the early stages of the season for Purdue just a little bit more than Kentucky. And then when you're without Jaylen Lowe, I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a butt whooping or anything, but I do think that Purdue ends up getting the, I don't know, let's call it 84-80 win at Rupp Arena, and we feel very good about that 4-point loss.
All right, Steven, what's your hot take for the game?
Kentucky's going to shoot better than 25% from 3. So I know that was a worry for some fans. I think what was the 7 threes that they hit, and Cam Williams will get a 3 off.
Ooh, I like that. He was pretty cold in the blue-white game. Yeah,
and not even make it. He's gonna take one.
Just gonna shoot
0 for 0, right? Last in the blue-white.
Yeah.
All right, that's a big hot take.
All right, Drew, who's your MVP?
Well, following that, I'm going to give a hot take that Andrei Yelovich will get a rebound.
Okay.
Ooh,
really going out there.
Don't get too spicy.
Following off Steven's Cam Williams shot attempt. I'm interested. Jack seemed very certain of that lineup. I would have said Aberdeen, Chandler, Owe, Diabate, Garrison, but I like the Noah getting love too. I would have guessed wrong. Jack seems like he might have a little knowledge on that one. Gonna trust him there, but my guess would have been different. I'm excited to just see what it looks like without Lowe, because they were going to need to answer that question. I know we were talking about that earlier in previewing the game. So Aberdeen, Chandler, Johnson, anyone taking over ball handling, I'm going to be watching that more than anything, because even when Lowe's back, they're still going to need a second, third option throughout the year. I'm going to say we win, though.
Ooh, I like it.
It's Rupp Arena. It's Purdue. They lose in big games. That's what Purdue does, and this is the biggest game of the year for both teams. My MVP, Colin Chandler. Let's just get out of the way.
Why do we even ask you?
Let's just get it out of the way. I'm doing it. He's making the big jump. I don't have to repeat it over and over. It's happening, and we finally get to see it firsthand against another team tomorrow night.
I love it. Well, I'll be there to see it. I'm also looking forward to watching that awesome intro video on the big screen at Rupp, because I can't watch it enough. Very excited. All right, Steven, what's up next? What's our next question? I have them written down.
There you go.
This was from Nick earlier. Is it officially cold enough for my husband to make chili? No, we've talked about this before on here. My husband is a stickler for it. It has to be very cold outside to make chili. And although it is chilly outside, it is not quite cold enough to make chili. It's not chilly. So hopefully soon. All right, what's up next after that? Bagel, who is back on the board. Welcome to Bagel. If you could give any person in the world one of the blue-white memory packages, who would you choose? Which one would you choose, and who would you give it to? So this is a radio show topic. If you didn't see, they're doing these blue-white memory things. It's like premium experiences you can get at games. One of them's pregame catwalk. You can put a message on the video board. You can deliver the game ball to the refs. You can be in the starting lineup, or like the little high five tunnel. You can do that. You can propose to your significant other. You have to pay for that. Post-game free throws. Yeah, VIP.
Don't you propose without paying us?
Yeah, like my question on that is, are they going to tell the camera people, unless you paid for it, don't zoom in on the random people just proposing? Like, I wonder.
I think they bring out a big curtain, like they put a horse down at Keeneland. Like, no one can see this. Everyone cover your eyes. They just cover the
la 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 la.
That would be hilarious. So I guess, which of any of these would you all actually pay for? Because I don't know.
We came off a little negative.
The starting
We came
lineup
off a little negative on radio. I think about half of them are cool. Half of them, like the proposal, maybe the proposal's a package that you pay for, and they throw in stuff, and you get a picture with the team.
And you
or
can go to
something.
like mid-court and do it. That would be cool.
Is there a
Instead of
wedding
just
package? Because I feel like if they're going to do a proposal, they got to be able to do the actual like and who is doing the wedding for? Like, can we pay for Pope to,
He would officiate it.
Yeah, I'm
The Pope.
What's the next?
Okay, here's the description.
Next layers of this.
It says, we'll show your proposal on the video board with a message, and a post-game photo of the couple will be taken on the court. Photos will be sent to the email of the purchaser within a week of the game.
But I've already seen them put several proposals on the camera for free.
Right.
So now it's just everyone, if they take a knee, blackout. No, if you
That's
put
what
them
I'm
on the
saying,
big screen,
yeah.
you're fired. No, of course, we're all going to get video and post it. It happens every couple years, and people like to see it.
Yeah. I think the starting lineup high five thing would be cool, although it's going to be awkward. I don't know. I would love to know. They don't list the prices, how much each of these cost.
I want to do that and come up with a custom handshake with every single one, like the hype man at the end of the starting lineups. You got to be able to customize your own handshakes with everybody in the starting lineup. I think that
Do like the shake and bake.
yeah, for sure.
I don't like the handshake one because it's a big moment and it's just for that one person. Like the rest of us are just like, who's that car salesman down there? And then when they make the journey video and we're looking back on this in years, there's going to be photos where we're like, why is that random dude just in the middle of the starting lineup?
Was
It's
he
like,
a walk-on?
It's cool to that one person, but everyone else there is going to be like, get them out of here. It's about the players and coaches.
Yeah. Game ball delivery is also weird. Like, I don't know.
Is that like
Someone send me the prices. I gotta find
Let
them.
me
They don't
throw-
list. Well, I guess
people
I'll
will do that for their kids though?
Let me throw the opening tip.
kids do it.
I want to do that.
That would be
put them
cool.
all up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm throwing it.
What if you got to make the playlist for like
Oh.
10 minutes during pregame
Oh.
warm-ups? Not
Okay, I
during the
found the
game,
price.
but like very early, like an hour before. You get 10 minutes of your DJ with a little bit of, we're clearing your list before you hit play.
All right,
Only
I found
Limp
the
Bizkit
price.
over and over again.
The proposal is the most expensive, not surprising. So this is for the Georgetown game. I don't know if it's more expensive for actual games that count, but to propose and have it on the Jumbotron with a picture at midcourt would cost $285 in addition to your ticket. The cheapest, let's see, are the post-game free throws, which actually sound pretty cool. I would consider that one. And I think it was the game ball delivery. Both are $114. So maybe there's
I
some
did seem
value
like-
there.
It seemed like they were a lot cheaper than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Like I can get in the handshake line for like $84. It seems like it should be a lot more.
Right.
Yeah. Wait, does everybody get to pay for it, get to do it?
It's gonna be like a line of knockout at camp. There's gonna be like 75 kids waiting to chest bump Brandon Garrison before the North Carolina game.
Garrison.
Here we go again.
Wait, how much was it to be in the handshake line?
It's like $117.
That's
Yeah.
okay. People are gonna do that. Like they're gonna buy that for their kid. There's gonna be like 12 kids in the starting lineup line. It's not gonna be just one person.
You can't get in the building for under $300, but come touch the players on the court. For $100.
Dap
Okay,
up the
well-
players. You get to meet Jaden Quaintance. Congratulations.
I'm laughing and I'm making fun of these, but I will say the fact that they're doing this stuff, like I got to
It's
give them
good.
credit. Fan
Well, and
Fest.
they have to.
Yeah, this concert they're doing. Is that tomorrow night after the game? I'm not familiar.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
right. I
first
forgot
one.
about that.
But-
The post-game party. Yeah.
I'm getting my jokes off, but I mean, they
Right.
are adding more to the experience, and that's what we want. So
Yeah.
kudos to them for trying.
Are they gonna start like bidding to see who can they even put on the jumbotron? Like just have fans on their phone bidding for like the
That would
spot
be
on the
funny.
screen.
Like when you have a
Oh.
Spirit airline ticket and you're like, bid for the front row seat.
Yeah.
Oh, like last night I'm at Rippy's. They're like, oh, we got $100 tip, so we have to play Rocky Top right now. Like, can you outbid people to get your message up first?
Yeah.
Also,
Oh,
Steven,
man.
it sounds like I'm hearing that our always leave on a make is going to be. We can't do that for free anymore. So
You're going to have to pay for that.
we're gonna have to pay
People on the
for.
rough anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna pay
Keep
for.
those super chats coming, guys.
Yeah.
All right, what's our last question? Because we are running late. From Derek SDSW, what is your must-do or go-to in Gatlinburg? FYI, my wife is done after 2 tastings. I've never actually spent time in Gatlinburg. I've only driven through. So I will give this one up to the panel.
Pass. Yeah, same.
Not for me.
I like pancakes. I like all of the other tourist things. There was one time that my sweet grandmother, God rest her soul, I made her take me to Gatlinburg and do all of the absolute nonsense touristy stuff with like Ripley's Believe It or Not or whatever. And she was getting older and her body, you know, was not moving the way it used to. And I remember like she was such a good sport about it and just did everything I asked, just being the sweetest grandmother. And I remember years later, she finally told me, she was like, you broke me physically because I couldn't, I couldn't move that much. Also, that was the most expensive trip that you've ever taken me on. So I hope you really appreciated that. That was like years later. And I was like, oh man, I didn't realize that in real time. But yeah, I do have a fond memory in Gatlinburg because I ran up old Granny's credit card.
I've told this story a few times on the show, but I went to the Titanic Museum there one time. I was coming back from a South Carolina basketball game, and they closed the highway because of snow. And I was just at Gatlinburg, couldn't go any farther. I was like, well, I guess I'll see what this is all about. But I'm at the front of the ship. It's not the real ship, by the way. And they have what looks like water, but it's kind of dark. And they're like, we want you to simulate how cold the water was. We want you to feel it. And it has like a thing. It's like literally dip your hand in here to feel how cold the water was. And you can like lean over the front of the ship and there's all this water and then you touch it and you're like, oh, that's really cold. She definitely should have let him on the door. How selfish. But because it was so dark, I saw this thing right at the front and it looked like a platform with like a bowl in it. And I thought it was like a little thing of water. So I just stick my hand in it. And when I pulled my hand out, it was the trash. And I had like dip spit and gum all on my hand. And I had to do the rest of the tour with just this nasty gunk on my hand. They're like, no, you're supposed to lean over that into the water. So I'm out on Gatlinburg. Hard pass on Gatlinburg.
Don't take your wife to do that, Derek. SDWS. Don't do that.
Horrible.
Yeah. So if you go to the Titanic Museum, they say feel how cold the water is. It's over the top of that trash can. You actually lean over the railing into the water. I thought it was like a sample of the ocean right there, and I just stuck my hand in it.
Oh man. Well, yeah. Don't take your wife to do that.
Cigarette butts.
Probably puke. Ugh. Well, we're going to have to end it on that because how else could we not? That was an awesome show, guys. It was fun telling stories. We've got a ton of content coming your way this weekend. Obviously, the Purdue game tomorrow, Tennessee game on Saturday. We'll have highs, we'll have lows, but we're going to have fun through it all. Shout out to Country Boy one more time, our awesome sponsor. If I could get it in the frame. There we go. We will see you this weekend, and cheers. Happy birthday, KSR.